They call it the silent ambush, a cat that appears from nowhere and finishes a fight in seconds. Meet the mountain lion, Puma concolor, a predator designed to strike from behind, unseen, and end the moment with brutal efficiency. This video asks one dark question: how can a single leap from shadows behind resolve life and death in moments? We follow anatomy, senses, and tactics to reveal why fights don't last long when this cat is the attacker. Picture a deer browsing, unaware. Then a near-silent explosion of muscle, a strike at the spine or throat, and the world collapses. The mountain lion's goal is rapid immobilization, speed as slaughter and silence as advantage. Silent does not mean delicate. This is precision violence, bone-crushing force, lethal targeting, and a nervous system tuned to instant decision. Every element of the cat is about buying fractions of a second and turning them into lethal certainty. So how does it do it? Not luck. Anatomy and behavior conspire. We'll strip the myth and show the engineering, the muscles, the claws, the brain that make a behind strike fatal. Start with the leap. Explosive hind leg muscles, a spring-loaded pelvis, and a tail that directs torque. The Puma becomes a guided missile, silent by design, invisible until impact. Remember the central mystery. Why can it end fights in seconds? Because its strike is not random. It's aimed where prey cannot recover quickly. The spine, the nape, the throat, immediate control points. Next, we dissect the machine. Jaws, bite force, flexible spine, whisker feedback, and the predator's stealthy senses. Each part multiplies the silent ambush into a surgical execution. Begin with skull and jaw. Puma concolor has wide gape and sharp, conical canines for puncture and grip. The bite doesn't always kill, it commands, stopping breathing or anchoring the prey so other systems finish the job. Those canines are reinforced like chisels. Behind them, Carnassials slice meat and tendon. The jaw muscles deliver a sudden clamp that transmits shock through the body, often causing immediate collapse or paralysis. The spine, a whip of vertebrae and ligaments. It allows the Puma to coil and uncoil mid-air, redirecting momentum to strike exactly where it needs to. That flexibility is a weapon as lethal as teeth. Hind limbs are loaded with fast twitch fibers. A single bound covers 10 meters. Forelimbs are pads and hooks, able to grab, twist, and bone-lock prey. Combine that with claws that rake, and the initial contact becomes catastrophic for the victim. The tail is a dynamic stabilizer. During a backward or lateral strike, it controls yaw and roll, turning an imperfect launch into a surgical strike from behind. Silence and balance are equal parts of the assault. Senses complete the design. Vision tuned to dim light, acute hearing that maps prey movement, and whiskers that read breeze and brush. The mountain lion builds an invisible map of its prey before the leap. Eyes optimized for dusk and night. Let it hunt when prey relaxes. Motion detection, depth perception, and contrast sensitivity let a Puma judge distance in a heartbeat. Critical when a single miscalculation means failure. Ears swivel like radar. A faint hoof step, a twig snap, the tiny rustle of breathing. The lion triangulates. It approaches from downwind, from cover, and times the strike when the target is most vulnerable. Whiskers are tactile instruments. Close in, they read the shape and exact position of the prey. That last centimeter of information converts a good strike into a lethal one. Under the fur is a nervous system set for rapid sequencing, visual input, motor plan, explosive output. Decision and action blur. The puma rarely hesitates. Hesitation costs seconds it cannot afford. Motor neurons fire in tight, synchronized bursts, unleashing coordinated limb, neck, and jaw movements. The result? A multi-part strike that happens faster than a prey's escape reflex can process. This burst is anaerobic and costly. A puma cannot repeat the same explosive sprint multiple times. That single, perfect ambush is both tactic and necessity. Expend maximal power once, or fail repeatedly. Anatomy and physiology converge on one outcome: sudden, decisive control. The mountain lion is not built for long chases, but for ending conflicts in a heartbeat. The silent killer's design laid bare. Now, behavior. Where does this bodywork translate into tactics? Ambush, stalking, and a cold calculus about when to strike. We'll watch how patience becomes weaponized in environments from alpine slopes to suburban edges. Stalking is practiced stealth. Low posture, wind reading, calculated pauses. The puma becomes a living shadow, collapsing distance without giving away its approach. The prelude to a backstrike. At close range, it shifts to patience. It waits for the moment when prey turns its head, when muscles relax, when the escape vector narrows. Those seconds are the fulcrum of success. When it launches, the attack is a cascade. Forepaws immobilize, teeth seize, hind legs drive. The victim rarely fights back effectively. This is precision over power. Not every strike aims for a kill. Sometimes the puma aims to disable, break legs, or rupture tendons, turning prey into a motionless meal. Either way, the encounter ends fast. Attacking from behind minimizes sight lines and escape options. The prey's field of view excludes the attacker. Reaction time is halved, and the first contact defines the fight's outcome before defense organizes. Fights end quickly because defensive tactics are blunt against a perfect strike. Thrashing breeds vulnerability. Immobilized prey cannot mount complex resistance. Seconds become the window between life and death. Sometimes the kill is surgical, a throat clamp that stops breathing within heartbeats. There's a clinical efficiency to it, a fast resolution to a brutal problem. Against elk or deer, the puma's tactics scale. Larger prey are toppled by backbone attacks and suffocation maneuvers. Against smaller animals, it uses speed and grip to prevent any contest from beginning. Terrain shapes tactics. Rocky ledges, gullies, and tree lines provide blind approaches. The mountain lion reads the landscape like a chess player, forcing prey into positions where the behind strike is inevitable. Hunting at dusk and dawn minimizes detection. Human observers might miss entire hunts. To prey, night seems safe until the shadow detaches itself and time collapses into the puma's one terrifying move. Young pumas practice with small kills, refining timing and aim. Learning is direct. Miss once, fail, adjust, and learn. That rapid learning curve makes them lethal even by their second year. But escalation can surprise even the experienced. A misjudged leap, a counterattack from a wounded elk. The balance between speed and accuracy is fragile. Failure is noisy and dangerous. Behavior is a string of micro-decisions: when to pause, when to commit. Each decision shortens the fight to seconds, or extends it into risky struggle. The puma bets on the short outcome. Are they solitary assassins? Mostly. Mountain lions are largely solitary hunters, which amplifies the need for efficiency. No pack to finish a wounded prey, no backup. A single perfect strike must suffice. Territory disputes can be vicious but short. Fights between adults are resolved quickly. Bites, slams, and displays escalated until one concedes. These encounters too end fast. Long duels risk mortal injury. Females teaching kittens add a social twist. Mothers demonstrate stealth, then push kittens into the fray to learn hitting from behind. Even social learning is about creating tiny, efficient killers. Prey evolve countermeasures: grouping, vigilance, erratic fleeing. But those defenses are blunt tools against a behind strike. Grouping reduces individual risk, but invites targeted ambushes from a patient puma. Every hunt carries risk: injury, wasted energy, lost opportunity. That pressure favors strategies that end fights quickly. Speed and stealth are evolutionary shortcuts to survival for both hunter and species. When humans appear, outcomes vary. Most encounters end with the puma slipping away. But the same silent tactics that make it lethal to prey can make encounters frighteningly sudden for people. Pumas are not invincible. They face disease, starvation, and human conflict. A failed strike can lead to injury that ends their hunting career. Their high-risk, high-reward style is a fragile adaptation. For prey, consequences are immediate: broken spines, suffocation, massive shock. The ecological reality is ruthless. Predation removes the weak quickly, shaping herd behavior and genetics over generations. Mountain lions can act as keystone predators, controlling deer populations and influencing vegetation patterns. Their quick kills ripple through ecosystems, altering food webs with each silent strike. By removing specific individuals, they change the age and sex structure of prey, influence predator competition, and indirectly shape streams and forests. Violence, in this sense, is a major ecological force. Human expansion fragments habitat, forcing more risky hunts near settlements. Pumas adapt or perish. The silent ambush meets roads, fences, and dogs, new hazards that change the calculus of every strike. Conservation is a moral and pragmatic puzzle. Protect these solitary killers and accept their role, or prioritize human safety and remove them. There are no easy choices when violence is natural and necessary. Reproduction carries its own brutality. Mating is brief and sometimes aggressive. Males fight for access. Females endure pressure and then raise young alone. The life cycle is an economy of risks and rapid resolutions. Raising kittens is exhausting and dangerous. Mothers hunt alone, needing quick kills to feed offspring. Failure to secure efficient meals can mean starvation for the litter. Kittens learn to ambush through staged play and guided hunts. The mother orchestrates short, successful attacks to instill the habit of swift, decisive strikes, training that turns juveniles into lethal adults. Survival rates are low. Many juveniles die from starvation, predation, or accidents. Only those who master the quick strike and stealth survive to reproduce, reinforcing the cycle of silence and speed. Mating conflicts are quick but intense. Males who cannot dominate territories fail to mate and die. Nature favors those who can end contests swiftly, even among their own kind. The mountain lion's life is punctuated by brief, decisive events: hunts, fights, mating, and rearing. Each pivotal moment is resolved in seconds, sculpting a life tuned to sudden outcomes. Zoom out. What does this silent killer mean for ecosystems? As a top predator, it enforces balance. Its efficiency prevents drawn-out predation events and shapes prey behavior in measurable ways. By removing individuals rapidly, mountain lions limit overgrazing and allow vegetation to recover. That recovery affects insects, birds, and even stream erosion. A single strike can cascade into landscape change. They compete with wolves and bears, but their strategy differs. Solitary stealth versus pack persistence. This niche partitioning reduces direct conflict and maintains predator diversity across habitats. Human land use rewrites these dynamics. Removing pumas unleashes herbivore booms, while protecting them can restore ecological balance. The choice reshapes landscapes in decades, not centuries. The brutal economy of a quick kill scales up. Fewer prolonged chases, less wasted meat, and a different predator-prey arms race. Nature prefers decisive transactions over prolonged suffering. We've watched anatomy, behavior, and ecosystem impact. The pattern is constant. The mountain lion resolves conflict with speed. That efficiency is beautiful and terrible at once. Ask why evolution favors silence and swiftness. Because prolonged combat is costly for predator and prey. Quick endings conserve energy and limit injury. Brutal pragmatism encoded in muscle and instinct. Now, a harder question. Does swiftness make the killing more ethical in nature's terms? Efficiency reduces suffering time, but it remains killing. The puma forces us to confront utility and cruelty intertwined. We humans recoil at silence that masks violence, yet we admire the engineering of a perfect strike. That tension, horror, and awe drives our fascination with predators like Puma concolor. Protecting an animal that ends lives quickly is ethically complex. Conservation demands we weigh ecosystem health against human fears. The mountain lion becomes a mirror for our values about nature's raw processes. Scientifically, the silent ambush answers a survival equation: minimize exposure, maximize payoff. Anatomy, neural control, and learned behavior solve that equation in one terrifyingly efficient package. Contrast the puma with prolonged predators. Where wolves wear down, pumas decide. That difference ripples through prey behavior, population dynamics, and the texture of whole landscapes. Return to the question: why does the mountain lion end fights in seconds? Because its body and mind were shaped to convert milliseconds into finality, the quiet arithmetic of survival. We must accept that nature's efficiency can be brutal. Appreciating the puma's design does not require romanticizing violence. It asks us to understand mechanisms and consequences without flinching. If we protect landscapes for pumas, we protect sudden endings as a natural process. If we carve out safety for humans, we alter the silent calculus that shaped ecosystems for millennia. So, next time you hear a snap of twig at dusk, remember, a quiet, efficient design may be listening, waiting to turn seconds into destiny. The silent ambush is not random. It is inevitability in motion. Which predator should we dismantle next? Tell us in the comments. And if you want more dark dissections, stay with us for another hunt. A quiet thumbs up helps keep these stories coming.